Okay, we're going to get into 1.1c here, the third lesson of this week. And then we're going to be looking at power to a power here. So you can see at the top I've got the definition. It says power of a product. And we've got an exponent outside of the parentheses here. Right? And so I've written shower the power because that's some of the terminology that you might hear. And it's basically like you're doing distribution here. So you're going to go ahead and distribute this exponent to both terms inside, and it becomes a to the m times b to the m. And the same thing happens if it's a fraction on the outside of the parentheses. So you can see the next one here, power of a quotient. We have m on the outside, so what happens is it gets basically distributed to both terms on the inside. And then it ends up being a to the m over b to the m. Now the thing we have to remember is if the term on the inside of the parentheses already has an exponent, so we basically have a power here, right, an exponent being raised to another exponent, then we multiply those exponents together. So if it's a power being raised to another power, then we multiply them together. So let's take a look at what that looks like in example 1. It says simplify. We've got x squared, and then that's raised to the fourth power. So notice we've got two exponents here, right? A power raised to a power. And so to simplify this, we just multiply those together, and this becomes x to the 8th power. Scrolling down to letter B gets a little bit trickier here because remember, we've got to make sure that we shower this power, which means we're going to distribute it to both terms inside the parentheses. So we've got 3 and x to the third being squared. So this just becomes 3 squared times x to the, remember, an exponent raised to another exponent. We'll multiply those together, which gives me 6. And then I could rewrite this because 3 squared isn't too bad. I can simplify that as 9x squared. Same idea on letter C. We've got 3 terms inside the parentheses here, and we've got this 4 on the outside, so I'm going to go ahead and shower that power into all 3 of these terms inside. So this is going to become 2 to the 4th, x to the 4th, and then this y already had an exponent, so an exponent raised to another exponent. We multiply those, that becomes y to the 12th power, because 3 times 4 is 12. You could simplify this again, because 2 to the 4th power you might remember is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which actually turns into 16. Moving on to letter D. This one looks a little bit trickier. We've got a lot happening on the inside of these parentheses right now. So it's 10x to the third divided by 5x squared, and then all raised to the second power. So what I'm going to do, and there's a couple different ways you can do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and simplify what I have inside the parentheses first, and then I'll use the exponent second. Kind of like PEMDAS, right? Parentheses and then exponents. So for this one, 10 divided by 5, well, that's just 2. And x to the third over x squared, you might remember that when it's division here, we go ahead and subtract our exponents. So that would be 3 minus 2, which is just x to the first power. So that one's kind of nice because it reduces so that there's no denominator anymore. And we still have this 2 on the outside, right? That's been out there this whole time. And now we're going to go ahead and shower that power into what's left. And this becomes 2 squared and x squared, which just turns into 4x squared. Moving to letter E. Letter E is like something we've seen before, right? Nothing to simplify inside, but I can go ahead and start to shower or distribute this exponent on the outside. This becomes x to the third and y to the 12th power, because remember, you multiply the exponents when it's a power raised to another power. That's letter E. Let's go to the last one. Letter F. Letter F has a lot going on as well. I can go ahead and see if I can simplify things on the inside again before I distribute that exponent that's on the outside. You can take a second and pause this if you need to write down the problem. And I'm going to go ahead and start by reducing. 2 over 8 will reduce to 1/4. So I'm going to start there. Remember, this is x to the first, and then we have an x to the third on the bottom there in the denominator. So remember, since it's division, we're going to subtract the exponents. 1 minus 3 gives me x to the -2 power. And then for the y's, 5 minus 2 gives me y to the third. Remember, I don't want to have any negative exponents, so if you're looking right now, you can decide which one needs to be moved here. The only thing that has a negative exponent is the x, so that's going to have to change levels. So I'll go ahead and move that down below. So it's going to be y to the third over 4x squared. Notice I just got rid of this 1 because 1 times x or 1 times y is not going to change the value, right, when we're multiplying by 1. And now I can go ahead and shower this power. Notice there's 3 terms in here, so I have to shower this 3 to all 3 terms. So we'll shower it to the y, and to the 4, and to the x. Exponent and another exponent, that becomes y to the 9th, because we multiply them, over 4 to the third, and x squared to the 6th. And then we can go ahead and rewrite this as y to the 9th over 4 to the third, you might know as 64, and x to the 6th. And that's it.